snitch on themselves to me. So like I ain't got no
preach on it.
True.
And women's really intuition don't lie either.
For real, like I've literally myself because like he told me something, and I was like, you know what, like I could blow up at him right now, but I gotta play this smart. So I just started talking to him, and I was like, you know, I was like, at the end of the day, like you're really good. You know, maybe I'm tripping. I just played into it, and then he snitched on himself, and I was like, there it is.
There it is. Yeah.
I was like, there it is. So, like,
those are called secret tests. We already know what we're doing. We know the answer. We know the outcome. We just need it to happen.
Jorby,
wait, what?
It's not a test.
Huh?
Jorby hitting you with the. It's not a test.
But it is.
It's really not. But it's like I'm a very, which you know, my bro know. I'm a very reactive person. So now I have learned to like, I have to master my own energy and not let anybody get ahead of that. You know what I mean? Because like once they grab that, and like, oh, you know, I can get you out of character. And especially men, it's like if you are like, okay, I can either flip out, then he gonna get defensive, then he gonna not really tell the truth, or I could just be your best friend and be really caring. So then you're gonna be like, damn, like I'm really doing this girl like that who care about me, and which it worked. And he snitched on himself, and he started crying. I was like, not the tears.
Damn.
Yeah, man, can't be emotional.
Yeah, no,
yeah,
like, well, we're on FaceTime, and he was like, I said something about, oh, we were supposed to like meet back up or link that day, but he was acting weird, and I was like, hey, like I'm single. I was like, so I'm not finna sit here and beg you to come see me when I got options, and I'm choosing to talk to you. So I was like, so cool. Like you don't want to be honest. I was like, we could just chill another day. He was like, no, that's not it. Da 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 da. And I could tell he was hiding something, which is why he was nervous about us linking back up. And I was like, you gotta tell me. Like in my head, I'm like, he gotta tell me. So I gotta play it smart because I'm getting pissed, but I can't show that because then he gonna get defensive. So I was like, okay, let me just keep being nice, and he gonna eventually snitch on himself. And once he did, I was like, okay, like I'm just done with this situation. Like I didn't yell. I was like, I'm just done. Like I was like, we're not gonna talk. We not coming to see you. Like you could do whatever. Go chill with Shorty. Nigga, start tears. I'm on the phone like, are you crying for real? You're crying?
That's crazy.
You're crying because you snitched on yourself? And
that's crazy.
He love you.
Like what a bro, you're not gonna pass me. You're not gonna pass it to me. First of all.
I got more.
Right. Rolling up
all
the
right. I have a question. So like when you like talking to a dude and once they snitch on themselves and they show that they not being real with you and they're not going to be faithful, like how do you handle that? And like do you still continue to talk in hopes that they improve, or do you just cut it off then?
I mean, now I have to get more disciplined because I feel like now I've been in a lot of abusive relationships. Like the past 3 of my relationships have either started out, like they all started out great, but end up in some kind of abuse, whether it's physical, mental, like whatever. And I'm so used to that I'm already on like high alert when I talk to people. You know what I mean? Like very like triggered by certain things. And now I'm calmer, but I've put so much into, you know, like becoming this calmer, better version of myself that I can't let shit slide anymore. Like the old me, I let so much slide. Like I always, even with the abuse, like I always was like, I would never like let no nigga put his hands on me. If that ever happened, I'm done. And then when it did happen, it's like you can always say what you're gonna do until you get into that situation, and it wasn't how I thought it would be. Like an hour later, we were laughing. That's not normal. But I was really in shock that it's like it literally took me 6 or 7 months after we broke up, no contact, to really be like, damn, like, you know, like everything starts coming, everything, you really start replaying it, and the more you replay it, you're like, that's not healthy. But when you grow up in that kind of environment, you're used to people that care about you inflicting that kind of harm or whatever. So it starts to become like an unconscious, like this is just normal. You're like normal, the toxic shit. And now I had to check I have to check my toxic behavior because I do have a lot of, whether people want to admit it or not, manipulative traits, or like narcissistic traits, or there's all these negative traits that I had to catch in myself and I caught myself doing. Just like this dude I'm talking to now, I'm like, I don't want him to talk to other people. I'm still talking to other people. You know what I mean? So it's like you have to be like, bro, like if I want this healthy relationship, I have to relearn what healthy is. And it's like
Facts.
boundaries and like, am I being toxic? And like yesterday, I was pissed off at him about something, and for like 45 minutes, I just sat in the room and I didn't say anything. And he kept looking at me. He was just like, bro, like, what? Like, are you going to say something? And in my head, I was like, you can't demand communication from a man when you're not even telling him what you're mad about. Like, you're sitting here expecting him to know, and like you're being like contradicting. Like, you're not giving out what you want, and that's something that I have to be like, it's not just me. Just like I told him, like, I expect all this, but I also want to know what you expect. Like, what do you need from me? What do you need in a relationship? What do you need? Quality time? What's your love language? Like, it has to be an equal part. And I think in past relationships, everything that I did deep down was for me. Like, the stuff that I did was not really, it was because I cared, but it was also manipulative in a way because I did it because I wanted you to stay. You know what I mean? Like, I'm doing this to get you to be with me. I'm doing this to like buy your love. I'm like, well, maybe if I do this, this, and this, that person will like want to stay with me more. And it's like, yeah, it's because I do care about you, but it's like I'm not. A lot of these love things that I'm doing are like an underlying. I'm really just trying to secure something, and I wasn't even over who I was with before. Me and my ex, we met and were moved in with each other within a month and a half of us meeting each other. And I'm
That's
like,
crazy.
I wasn't even, I had been broken up with my other ex of like a year or so, 2 months. I'm like, and now I haven't been in a relationship in 2 years since my last ex. Like, and that to me shows you like, if it's taken me 2 years to move on, what made me think a month was enough? And it wasn't. Cause like the second we stopped, we had like broken up for a little bit, went right back to whoever I was with before, and then that didn't work out. So then we met, and it was very toxic. Very, now that I think about it, I'm like, we never really went on dates. We never really did a lot of things. And I think it was both of us just, you're going through something, I'm going through something. We have this toxic kind of like trait and this toxic love that's like keeping us together, but it's really just a trauma bond. Like, it's not either one of us really trying to look out for the other person. It's, you're depressed, I'm depressed, we both went through this, so let's just, I can't live without you. Like, that's not healthy. Like, you should want to be with somebody because it makes you feel healthy, but you have to be, I don't know how to explain. Like, you have to be to that point internally before I feel like you can really give 100% to anybody. And in the talking stage, I'm way more like I'm way more with my foot down now because I'm like, if I let any bullshit slide past the month, like past the first 30 days, if I'm letting like any kind of bullshit slide, then you're just gonna think you can disrespect me like whenever. And I deserve everything that's in your list. Like, if like, if she's like, oh, I want a dude to take me out and dates, I want good morning text. I want quality time. Like, I shouldn't have to be like, oh, well, maybe, I can just take one of those off. Like, no, if that's my perfect relationship, like, that's what I want. And yeah, there's compromises, but just like the conversation I was having with this dude I'm talking to, like, you live 6 hours away and we're making time to see each other. So phone calls and FaceTime calls, that needs to be more than just once a day for like an hour to me, because if that, you have to make up for that time you're not seeing in person. You know what I mean? Like, especially when you work third shift, I work mostly morning shift, so it's like our time is already off. And to me, that's not quality time. Is not like, if you can't do that, then
So would you say quality time is probably one of your love languages then? Like,
Oh yeah,
when you're in a relationship, what would be like, if you could rank your love languages, what would they top 3 be?
my top one would be like physical, like affection, because like even if I'm in the same room as you, like I want, like, I'm a very affectionate person. Like, again, you can ask bro. Like I'm a very, like, if I fuck with you, like, hug me, bro. Like like sit near me. Like, even if it's a dude, like you can lay, like, even if my male friends, like, bro, you can lay in the bed with me, bro. Like it ain't even, if you know it's not even on that kind of energy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. Like, I want to feel close to you. Like, quality. I feel like quality time, when it's more like, setting personal time in the day to be like, okay, like, if we at the house for 12 hours, like, there needs to be at least 3 or 4 hours, or like a couple hours in that day where it's face to face conversation. Like, no, get off your phone, like, get off the game, like, just us. You know what I mean? Like, because I don't like, no distractions. Because I'm like, I don't really. I've been in a lot of relationships where we didn't really do anything, and it's like you just chill all the time. I'm like, yeah, that's cool, bro, but like, I want to go on dates. I want to go out. I want to go, like, to the movies. I want to know your, like, childhood experience, bro. Tell me what you did in, like, second grade. Like, like,
Yeah.
who are you? Like, if I'm falling in love with somebody, I want to know you, like, all about, like, that. And the, I mean, like, acts of service and, like, gifts and stuff. I like that. Like, of course, everybody likes gifts because I buy people gifts, but it doesn't have to be like expensive stuff. Like, we went to Waffle House earlier. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like stuff like that. Like, I just want to like you. I want you. I want to be showered with gifts, but they don't have to be like expensive gifts. You know?
Thoughtful.
Yeah, like thoughtful. Just like, I thought about you, or like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like, I want to go shopping. Like, why would I not? Like, I buy my nigga stuff. Like, I bought you clothes. Like, I do that because I got it. Like if I like you, I'm gonna buy you stuff. Like, that's just me. I buy my friends shirts. I buy my friends clothes. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you're my nigga, you gonna get the same, and I expect the same back. Period.
And it's almost like the most simplest things that you buy for somebody, it shows how much you're listening. Because like, you could, like, for me, I've been saying, oh, I need a facial brush, I need a facial brush, I need a facial brush, just like off habit, because I know I'm reminding myself type thing. And
Yeah,
then my significant other buys me a facial brush because it's Wednesday. Like, that's the kind of, and the facial brush is $5.99, if that.
it's
So it don't
cheap.
have to
The
be
little
too
things.
expensive. It's the thought.
Little things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when we went to go get pizza last night, and I made a comment about, like, him opening my door. Like, I made like a little slick comment, like, oh, I thought you were gonna open my door. And I just brushed it off. But literally, like, when we got back to the car, like, he just, like, stepped in front of me and, like, opens it, and was doing that for the rest of the time that he was here. It's like, any little thing I brought up, he'll be like, and I also explained to him, like, I had to, like, break down, like, my trauma and my past and, like, stuff that I've
Yeah.
been through. So I'm like, bro, like, if I act a certain way, like, it's not because I'm really trying to be a dick. I have not dated anybody in 2 years. So I'm like, no matter how much healing you do, you're still gonna be like, you start dating somebody and it's like, okay, this is the test. like it's
Yeah,
all
yeah.
that I've been doing for the past 2 years, and it's hard. Like, it's hard to be vulnerable and have to just, like, take that chance on, like, if this person is really, like, here for me. And I'm a hopeless romantic. I fall for people easy. So that's another thing I gotta work on, is like, I get really attached. Like, I think, man, you were what, cool for, like, I met you for like 2 days,
Yeah,
and
at the protest.
it was like the first day we was like, bro, I love you. like
God.
no, like, literally, like, tight, because that's all it takes, bro. Like, if I meet you, like, yo, like, if I meet you and you give me energy and you give me that, like, unconditional, like, I'm gonna fuck with you forever. And even, like I said, like, we'll go months without talking, and it's never like, oh, fuck that nigga, like, he don't want to talk to me. It's just, no, we live lives, bro, and we both have dealt with depression. We both have dealt with anxiety and have talked to that level of, like, I understand you. Like, this is some, like, soul friendship. Like we're friends from like another lifetime type shit. Like we don't have to talk every day. And that's the kind of connections I want with people. It's like I can't give half-ass friendship. Like if I meet you and I like you, we're friends, bro. Like I don't do that. Acquaintances, I don't do that. Like we hanging out a lot and we're sharing any kind of amount of our time and life with each other. It's gonna build a connection. That's why I told bro, like I don't even do that talking shit, bro. Like we gonna talk. Now I'm trying to like take my time with him, but I'm like I give it about 2 more months, and if I ain't your girlfriend at that point, I gotta go. Cause like, like I give deep love, like bro, like I want to be with somebody. Like I don't want to sit here and do all the stuff that a girlfriend does, but you don't want to call me your girlfriend. Like, but
Sex.
and like I also understand I'm used to stuff moving fast, so I have to learn how to like be okay with just
Going slow.
yeah, like and not making the person that I'm dating like my entire identity because I do that a lot.
I have a
Even
quick question. I have a good question. I have two. One, going back to the dates thing. You're like, I want to go on dates. I want to do this. I want to do that. I always wondered that, like, how does, for example, I like to do certain things. I like to do certain things on my free time, like go on walks and do bullshit. And I'm like, all right, when I go on a date, I would rather do those, like if I'm like going on a date, I'd rather do those things to show my side of the neck, like my neck of the woods, and like what I do and like what I look at or what I listen to or what movie I watch or something like that, and then have that person do her thing. Like she'll be like, oh, like let's go here, because I'm not someone who likes going to like fancy restaurants or any type of restaurants or anything like that. I don't like doing that type of shit. However, someone I might go with might like doing those types of things. So I don't know anything about that. However, she knows a lot about that. So
well,
I
that's
would.
where you discuss like that's another that's where I think where it's really important to just be like, what do you like? Like we had that conversation and like he he was telling me because I told him something like he just seemed like nonchalant. Like when I talked to him about stuff and he was like, it's not that I'm nonchalant. He was like, we just have different ways of like expressing how we feel or like stuff we like to do. And he was like, I don't really need you to like, you know what I mean? Like interact with me. Like me being in front of you and like being around you is enough. You know what I mean? Like,
Right,
and
right,
to me, I had to be like, okay, like I understand that, but I'm gonna still need this. Like I'm gonna still need these certain things just for me to feel like loved or like I need that physical like contact. I need the reassurance. Like I need that from you to really kind of feel the connection. And that's, but honestly, like again, like whenever I would say that, like I could tell he would like he's starting to like pick up on it, or he'll reassure me more, or like say things. And when I open up about it, I used to like get like backlash, and he'll always be like, no, like I don't feel like you're complaining. Like you're just voicing how you
right.
feel. Like, and it's like positive. Like so, regardless, I'm like that's really all you have to do. But if you're dating somebody who's not even going to give you that kind of feedback, then
Mhm.
that's
Crazy.
it's a no for me.
That's interesting because when I talk to people, um, I tend to like talk to people in a certain type of way. So they'd be like, "Oh, I'm sorry for being stupid," or this, and that. And I'm like, "Nah, bro, you're just asking a question, and we're having a conversation about it." And it's really interesting how people's past can really affect how they view themselves and how they view the relationship that they get in later on down the line.
It really does. We had multiple conversations because, like, anytime I would voice my opinion, I'd be like, or something, I would be like, oh, I'm sorry if I sound like a bitch, or like, oh, I'm sorry if I'm complaining, or I'm sorry this. And he'll be like, Jordan, like, I never said that. Like, I never said you
Yeah.
were doing that. Like, but I also explained to him certain situations. And then he was like, well, I feel like I'm being compared to like,
Too high, man. Too high, man. Yeah. Too high, man. I think I need to pass more. I need a passport. Too fly, girl. What you need that cash for? Why you need it? A good day, I'm loving what you say. I can't play, been feeling you all day. I only see you when I close my eyes. I work hard, put in overtime. Good brain, gotta leaning over wood grain. Only pull it over just to fill it up with propane. That ethanol bouncing on me, basketball. Always make a finish, gotta writing up the epilogue. Just text me, dog, mind it fog. Eighth a cookie in the woody, got me higher than my cholesterol. I need some oxygen, this car is Smokey Robinson. This marijuana got me more lost than a clownfish. Too high, man, I think I need to pass more. I need a passport. Too fly, girl, what you need that cash for? Why you need it? A good day, I'm loving what you say. I can't play, been feeling you all day. I only see you when I close my eyes. I work hard, put in overtime. I was lost until you found me. Now I see your face and everything around me. Held my hand through the liquor and the drugs that I consume. Assume that you'll be there the day I blow up like balloons. Every time you leave, I can't believe that I won't see you again. Until next time, but who knows when. That'll be, I smoke through the anxiety. I hope you're with me till the end. I swear I'll make $1 million off the pen. When and where you wanna see me, I might cop a flight to Fiji. If I tell you my ambitions, you promise that you'll believe me. Grew up on the honor roll, I might have went to school high a few times, but I swear I know this girl a blessing. Too high, man, I think I need to pass more. I need a passport. Too fly, girl, what you need that cash for? Why you need it? A good day, I'm loving what you say. I can't play, been feeling you all day. I only see you when I close my eyes. I work hard, put in overtime.
To old boy that you were with, and I had to tell him like, no, like I'm not comparing you to that. I'm explaining to you like, if you've never been in a traumatic relationship or like a experience like that, then you don't really, like you said, understand that it literally affects how you interact with a significant other, especially if it all starts out like nobody starts out abusive. Like it comes gradually to a point to where by the time it happens, you're like, damn, like you either don't even realize it or you're just so far deep at that point where it just doesn't. That in itself is a whole roller coaster. But you have to relearn how to communicate with people and not automatically like assume that you're thinking negatively and kind of self sabotage the situation. You know what I mean? To where you're just like, oh, I'm scared this isn't gonna work out, so I'm gonna just fuck it up myself. Like, which I
And
can notice.
that takes a lot of patience, I feel.
A lot.
Like going to like knowing that your significant other might have those traumas, dealing with those traumas, or trying to help them not experience those things with you. And I would ask, how patient are you willing to be with your significant other, and how long are you willing to take in order to have that learning curve? Like, for example, if someone does not get that shit immediately, like how long are you willing to wait until you're like, bruh, fuck this shit, this is not gonna work?
Well, with him, like, like I really do like him. Like we have at this moment right now, like I definitely feel like my mental health has been not the best lately. So I think anybody dating me who's not used to that kind of behavior or not used to really dealing with the kind of stuff that I deal with, it's a lot. And at this point, he's been very like understanding and has shown me to an extent that like he's trying and that matters to me. So I'm like, I'm not fully 100% ready to really be in a relationship. So at this point, I feel like we're at a good point to where I'm like, like I can be patient and see, like even for a couple months, like how this goes. but I want a relationship, and I'm that kind of person where I'm like, I'm not going to be talking to you for like 6, 7 months, a year. You know what I mean? Like, I'm 26, bro. Like, I know what kind of, regardless of the stuff I go through, don't get it twisted. Like, I'm still that bitch. Like, like, and I'm a good ass woman, and I'm not gonna be, regardless of what situations I go through, like, I'm not gonna let somebody kind of like use that as a reason to be like, oh, I don't have to try. I'm like, you don't have to try. Like, but there's niggas out here waiting for you to fumble the bag. Like, so, like, there's a man out here who's gonna support me going through whatever, who's gonna step up and do the things that I want him to do. And I'm not gonna miss out on meeting my husband because you want to play games. Like, that's cool, but I'm not the one to play games with. I'm trying to get married. I want that. I don't want to like sit here and play like high school games where like there's not. People think because you have mental health issues that you're dumb, and I'm like, nope, I'm definitely not dumb.
They're trying to play you out here.
They be trying. I'm trying to get right with the Lord and not be violent. You know, like I'm trying to get rid of sick behavior.
But that's one thing that I really that I admire about you. You are willing to get violent if need be. Because like I remember a conversation when we're talking and you're like, bruh, fuck that shit. Call me. If we going out and that's happening to you, nah, fuck that shit. I'm going at it. And I'm like,
what were we talking?
We're talking about how I
was it that when I play you or something?
Huh?
Was it like this girl was trying to do some crazy shit to you or something?
Yeah, but it was kind of like that where it was like I was talking about how I hate being touched, and these people kept on touching me, and I was like, bruh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were so pissed.
I'm very like, bro, don't know, but if I fuck with you, like, and you're like my bro, so I'm like, oh fuck no, I'll swing on you. Like if somebody says touch me and you continue like personal boundaries, no, bro, like I'll swing. I have anger problems, just like I told the dude that I'm talking to, because we were talking about something and he yelled at me or he like raised his voice, and I was like,
that's not it,
bro. Like my anger. People yell at me, I'm telling you, like, I will black out. Like, and once that switch hits, I cannot turn it off. So I'd rather you not try me. Like, don't even make me don't even make me get like that. Cause it's not that cute. Like, dudes will be like, oh, she got anger problems. That's cute. No, bro. Like, this is not anger problem that you're gonna be like, yeah.
It's cute till I'm angry at you type shit.
Like, like
she'll beat your ass.
Right.
She'll beat your ass.
And it's not cute no more.
Like, the cops will get called, sir.
She'll get a goddamn skillet, goddamn.
If I act like that over my friend, like, you think I'm gonna act less crazy if you disrespect me? No. Like, I let it slide in the past, but no, niggas know now. I'm fighting. I'm swinging. So you better choose your words wisely. Talk to me nice. Because he was like, well, when I get mad, sometimes I raise my voice and I'll cuss. I'm like, you can cuss, but if I call you a bitch or something, don't get mad at me. Because it's disrespectful to me. It don't matter what word it is. If you're pissed off and you're yelling at me, I feel like if you're grown and you cannot talk to me with respect, then we don't need to be together. And I can understand you getting mad, but I grew up in a very volatile, violent household, and I'm not gonna repeat that. And I don't care. Like, we can talk to each other. That's something I have to work on too. Like, my tone, which is now when I get pissed off, I wait. Like, I'll be like, bitch, don't respond yet. Like, be quiet. Think about what you're gonna say. Be respectful. Like, even if it comes off like I'm being a smartass, but I'm really not. I'm really just trying to be like, make my words wisely. I want people to watch what they say to me, and I can't be like, just like I got mad at him about something, and I started to like yell, and he was like, so you can yell at me, but I can't yell at you. And I was like, you're right. like let me. But that's all about like you have to hold yourself accountable. Like I had to like look at myself and point out the toxic traits that I know that even when you'll notice it, but you're like, if I deny it, it's not real. Like no, bro, it's there. Like,
Yeah.
and you're not gonna get over it and get better until you look at yourself and be like, well, you're fucking up, bro. Like,
Damn, that's real. That's
Yeah.
real as hell.
That's true as fuck.
I was still talking to people even now. Like I ain't even gonna lie. Like there's people that I've talked to that I'm not like we're not talking, but it's like that string is not fully cut. You know what I mean? It's like it's still kind of like me keeping my options open just in case. But no matter how much I hide in the back of my head, if I'm doing it to you, I'm gonna think you're doing it to me. So it's like, well, how do you expect? Like how do you? When he left earlier, I was like, I really got to make sure like this is what I want because it's either I cut off everybody now and pursue this, or I let him do whatever he wants. And like you have to be honest, even with him. Like you got to be fair because I get paranoid. So if I would never cheat on somebody. Like, which is why we're not official right now. Because I was like, I feel like I still gotta test the waters a little bit. But I
Gotta
also
know what's out there.
appreciate him. You know what I mean? So like, I'm not gonna play with his feelings. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're almost together. Like if he told me right now, like, see, I was finna say if he was like, you want to be my girlfriend, I'd be like, yeah, but I probably wouldn't. I'd probably be like, I just need a what?
I was just like, why you say that?
Cause I don't know. I feel like I just want to make sure. You know what I mean? Like I feel like if this is real and this is gonna work out, then yeah, I don't want to be talking to him for like a whole year, but it's like I really want to make sure like before I 110% like fall in love with this man, like I want to make sure it's worth my time.
Yeah, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, like
First
I've
go
just
round.
to get to where I am now, and I'm like, bro, the version of myself that I am right now, like just give that to somebody who doesn't really appreciate it. And especially if you're 6 hours away and we're gonna start this going to see each other every other month, like that's a lot of effort and money that I'm spending on somebody that I'm not even with yet. Like we've been talking since like December. It's like February now. Like almost. So if it's gonna be 6 months from now, bro, like what are we doing? Like
Yeah. But like you said, it's gonna take like you seeing for sure if other connections are stronger or other bonds are stronger versus like y'all's, because long distance is harder than we think it is sometimes, because like yeah, there's a lot of ways to communicate with your significant other if y'all are long distance, but you miss that like physical touch like you were talking earlier, and that quality time. And then also if y'all are in this different time zone, like there's just so many outside, you know, things, outliers that can like affect your relationship. So that is something you have to say, yeah, this is what I want. And then you also have to think like, I think now a lot of people in our generation are starting to date with intent. I feel like before we weren't really dating with intent, but now that we're getting older, we're like, okay, we gotta like, this has to make sense.
COVID
right?
years.
Huh?
System COVID.
Yeah, no, for real. Because like, if I get shut, if I'm in another pandemic, do I want to spend it with you type shit? Like, you know what I mean? But I think people are starting to date with intent, and when you're dating in a long distance relationship, there has to be a conversation about, are you moving here or I'm moving there? Or are we trying to go somewhere else? Because you don't want to be long distance forever. And also, like you said earlier, you don't want to give somebody girlfriend benefits and they not your boyfriend. That's also what we're not trying to do.
Especially, I ain't even trying to be like X-rated right now. But I'm like, bro, if you pulling up and we fucking and we doing all this stuff, bro, like this is a lot of effort. Like and like even if like yeah, like sex is sex, and like I can have sex and not equal it to emotion. Like I've had that, so I hate when dudes be like, "Oh, girls get emotional over sex." No, I get emotional because like if I like you and we're doing that shit, it means something completely different. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like you're connecting, but it's also if you can drive 6 hours and we can do that, then you can plan your future. Like, especially if we're doing that multiple times, like that's a lot of effort. So just like I told him, I was like, if you can make time for us to have sex, you can make time for all this other stuff, then you can make time to call me.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
that's true as fuck.
Yeah.
That's true as fuck.
Because he, yeah.
Right. Talk that shit. Talk that shit.
But you know, so yeah.
Talk that shit. Because for sure. Because then they try to tell you, oh, it's not just sex. But that's what all you're making time for. So how would I know that? If that's all you make time for.
That's interesting.
Like 4 hours, you can call me for an hour.
Yeah.
Like these things that you do with your friends or that you do with other people, I'm like any amount of time, like it's all about balance too. Like I'm like, bro, we don't have to be on the phone, because when we first started talking, we would be on the phone for like hours, and then it would be like 1 hour a day, and then there was like a couple of days we didn't talk, and I was like, look, bro, like I just drove to see you. I just drove to see you like 6 hours. Like if I can do that, then if I can do that, and you can call me for an hour, even check in for like 30, like that itself, that's still time. That's still time that you're investing. Like, don't sit here and try to be like, oh no, I can't do that. I'm like, okay, if you're not gonna do that, then I'm not gonna do it either. But if somebody else wants to do that, then
don't be mad when somebody else step up, because you ain't stepping up. Also, too, I think it goes with communication, right? Like you were talking about that earlier. And then we've talked about that in past podcasts, that like you have to keep that open line of communication if you're going to progress in any relationship right now. Like you got to be able to talk about the hard things, the tough things, the past, the future. You know what I mean? Like the present and like just your feelings in general. And that's on both ends. Like you have to be able to communicate, especially when it comes to like having sex. Like there's things you have to talk about before you even get to that level. And a lot of the times people don't want to talk about that.
I feel like it doesn't matter what you do. Like you have to have, before we even like did anything, I was like, look, bro, like I need to know right now. Like the first day we talked, what do you want? What do you expect? Like, what are you looking for? And I'm telling you right now, just like whenever we got into it, I was like, bro, I told you the first day what I expected. So I don't know why you acting like just because you got me and we start to see each other now, like you want to like fall back with stuff that you've been doing. I'm like, bro, you can fall back, but I'm not giving you that same energy. Like if you're not gonna talk to me, I'm not even going to be like, oh, I'm gonna match your energy. I don't match energy. I'm not matching garbage energy because my energy is not garbage. So I used to be like, oh, I'm gonna just match energy. No, bro, why am I gonna lower my vibrations because you're down here? No.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just talk to somebody whose vibrations are at the same level. Like
that's real.
Resentment that builds.
That's
like
real.
You start to get mad, you start to be irritated, you start to like pick little petty fights, bro. I'm not doing that. Like I want to talk to somebody who wants to open my door, who wants to spend time with me, who doesn't want to go 6-7 hours without talking to me. Wake up, I'm on your mind. Go to sleep, you want to talk. Like good night. Like what are you doing? Did you eat today? How you feel? Like I want that. That's not crazy. That's basic. That's basic, bro. I wanted to be with somebody who loves me or who cares about me. Like if you can't give that out, or if that's not your thing, that's cool. And that's another thing I told him. Just because, like, if we don't work out, I'm not gonna resent you for that. I'm only gonna resent you if you waste my time, or if you lie to me, or you're not be like. If you want to date other girls, if you want to go do whatever you want to do, just me. Like literally, we can discuss it and be like, okay, we can still hang out, do whatever. Like, or if this is what like the avenue we want to go down, cool. But I don't like being sold dreams. I don't like you signing up for something, okay with that, and then switching up or not being pure about your intentions. That's when I start to feel like you're disrespecting me. And we're like, that's where dudes be like, oh, I can't be honest with her. or your feelings are gonna be hurt, or I'm trying to protect your feelings. I don't need you to protect shit, bro. Like, don't
Be honest.
my feelings. Be
The truth
honest.
is, they be trying to protect themselves anyway, because it's not even so much that what they're gonna say is gonna hurt your feelings. What they're gonna say is potentially like, it's potential to lose you, and they don't want to lose you. They don't want to lose out on what they got.
But
You know,
So I think that's part of it too. Like, because yeah, you don't want to hurt my feelings, but you're doing something that's gonna hurt my feelings. So
yeah.
it's not, you don't care about my feelings all that much. You just don't want me to find out that you're hurting my feelings, because if I find out you're hurting my feelings, I'm gonna have the like option now, or the ammo now, or the excuse now to be like, I'm done.
I'm like, bro, for real. I hate that when I be like, I didn't want to hurt you. Yes, you did.
Right, because you knew what
Yes,
you were doing was gonna hurt me.
and you're lucky I don't put my hands on people.
So,
that's crazy.
I gotta end it calmly now. Like, even when he was acting weird for like the whole week, I just messaged him. I was like, look, bro, I care about you. I like you. I want you to be happy, and I'm gonna just let it go. Like, I'm not gonna push something that's not supposed to go together. But what I don't respect is you not communicating. If you don't want to talk to me or you don't want to date me, tell me that.
mm-hmm.
Like, just say that. If that's not,
Nick.
if
Nah,
it's
y'all
not,
saying some real ass shit right now. Y'all hitting different.
Okay, I was about to say, where was she wrong?
No. I was agreeing. I was like, that's.
oh, I was like, where'd you? I was like, well, yeah, bro. Like, would you rather a girl ghost you, or would you rather a girl be like, hey, bro, this ain't working out? Like,
I feel I would rather like during the relationship, if a girl finds something wrong, I'd rather her just tell me that shit first before she says it's not working out. I'll be like, okay, because I'm the type of person that'll put my all into trying to understand and then implement a plan for me to start doing those things. So if you tell me I'm trash at something, I'm gonna be like, all right, I'm about to get cold as fuck at that
Forget
shit.
it.
That's my personality. That's my personality, and that's how I
that's
work.
peace. Like, that's literally all. Like I'm that person where I'll give you, like, even him. Like, I think I'm so protective of myself now. Like, whenever I get mad or whenever something bothers me, my brain will just be like, bro, just quit talking to him. You know what I mean? Like, just drop it. Like, don't even just ghost us. But I'm like, no, now I have to push past that and be like, okay, like, let's talk calmly. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna bring it up a few times,
Mm-hmm.
and if I get to a point to where you're just the behavior is, oh, I'm sorry, and then a week later, same thing, I bring it up again. Oh, I'm sorry. A week later, so you know what I mean? Like that third
Yeah,
time,
that cycle.
time you heard me, like you know, you're just complacent, and just like
Mm-hmm.
that's what he does. Exactly what he said. We didn't talk for like a week, and he was like, I think I just got, I don't know, like he just got complacent, like just got used to certain things with us, and I was like, okay, cool. I was like, well, like, don't come down here then. Like, don't come see me. Like, you can stay up there because, like, if you can't even communicate with me and just be like, hey, like, I don't know where I want this to go, then what do you expect? Like, communication
I
is
feel
not.
that.
It takes 30 seconds to text, be like, hey, I'm not in the mood to talk today. Okay, like I'll give you your personal space,
Yeah,
but if
you
you
gotta
just
say that.
ignore me, especially when I've been in relationships where like the silent treatment was used as like them trying to get to me because they knew it made me like anxious. So now I'm like, if you're just going out of your way to not talk to me on purpose, I'm not putting up with that. Like, we're grown. Like, you can give me that much respect to just be like, hey bro, I want to talk today. Okay. Hey bro, I'm not in a good mood. Okay. Like, I need a couple days to figure out where I want this to go. Okay. Like, but you bypassing it and not addressing the issue and just acting like you don't want to talk to me, like I'm not gonna deal with that. Like,
Hmm.
that's what children do. I'm not a child. I'm a grown ass woman.
True.
Period.
Big purr.
One thing going back to that conversation is one thing that's hard is when something is a habit. For example, have a tendency to joke around a lot and tease people really, really hard. And that can fuck me up a lot in a lot of situations. So like it's so hard for me to like dial that back. However, like I have to work on that. I know I have to work on that, but it's going to take time because I'm always like that. I'm always like that. So I think that sometimes when it comes to personality, like your personality and like things that you have a habit of doing because of your culture, it's going to take a really long time to fix those things. So I think patience, as we were talking about, is like patience is crazy.
She doesn't belong here. I see that she's nervous when her body's uncovered. She's so self-conscious. Yeah, I gotta get her out of this place. Far, far, far away. We all made some mistakes. Something we all gotta face. But I won't judge you. Yeah, I won't judge you. You should let loose. Show your truth. You keep holding back, oh, I wonder what's behind that door. You keep holding back, oh, I wonder what's behind that door. Just to see you smile, I walk 100 miles, 1,000 times, 1,000 times. Lonely, lonely nights, blazed by purple lights, and one's falling from the sky. Is this your first time? Why are you nervous now? Things to figure out. I know. If you don't mind me saying, still your daddy's baby. Your heart, I can't replace it. I'm looking at Eve naked. You keep holding back, oh, I wonder what's behind that door. You keep holding back, oh, I wonder what's behind that door. Things you hid away for so long. Someone said before, girl, you gotta stay strong. Cause no one knows what you've been through. Told you, girl, don't hide your truth. I know a lot of this is new, but I want to know, no. I want to know, no. You keep holding back, oh, I wonder what's behind that door. You keep holding back, oh, I wonder what's behind that door.
The dude I'm talking to is very laid back. You know what I mean? He's very like kind of go with the flow and like not a lot really gets to him. And I'm kind of the opposite. So I think that's another thing is like opposites attract. But if you know you're used to a certain way of talking to people and doing certain things, and like I'm kind of used to having to be on the defense, and I'm used to like having to always have something to back up what I'm saying, or like walking on eggshells. So it's like dating somebody who's not like that, although it seems like, oh yeah, it's easy, it's really not. Because once you're used to like talking to people a certain way, or like, you know, certain situations, he'll just be like, bro, like this is not an argument. You know what I mean? Like it's not this, like I didn't even say that, or like he doesn't understand how important sometimes like the reassurance is, or like, bro, this nigga just keep changing his shit, bro. Like,
Beat his ass.
he in the kitchen, bro. He a minor.
For sure.
JoJo.
So,
That is
she,
crazy.
oh, I'm with this shit, and I'll fight for it. Why he said that? Because he want to see it. He like me being violent. Look, see, look. We got some positive light. Maybe I don't look as angry, so maybe we got like the blue, you know.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Lighten it up.
any type or exploit it, making sure like I don't know, like taking my ego out of relationships. You know, like sometimes you have to really look at yourself and make sure that like you communicate what you expect and stick with it, but also like thinking about the other person and like how do they feel, like you know what I mean, like how do
Mhm.
they see issues, because we can't just solve it to a way where it's solving it to fit what I want. It's like has to be a solution that fits both people's wants in that topic, and that's another thing that I struggle with, because a lot of stuff I'll be like, oh well, this affects me. I'm like, no, you got a whole nother person's like feelings that you got to take into context when it comes to that. Like,
Mm.
it's definitely not that easy, but
Mm.
a work in progress.
True.
You made me
And I have
realize I'm a very selfish person.
Who?
Wow.
You said you're a person?
Yeah, no, because you was spitting some like mad game about how like the just consideration of perspectives is like very important in like sustaining a relationship, and I was just like, that's mad like true. That's very very true, and like the
It's
understanding of
something that I struggle with, because it's like as much as I like to say like, I mean, I'm a very loving person and I definitely put people before myself, but in relationships, I'm so protective of myself. That's all I think about sometimes is myself. And even if it's loving somebody else, I'm loving you because I want it, subconsciously want it in return. I'm giving you stuff because I subconsciously want it in return. You know what I mean? So it's like
Mhm.
everything I'm doing is subconsciously like for you, but to benefit me. And like, yeah, that's okay, but you also have to look at like, you know what I mean, like how do you want to deal with this, or like even in like the discussions we would have, I'm like I have to look at your perspective and how take into account that like yeah, I want to be on the phone all the time and I want to be up under you all the time, but like I have to give you your space. I have to think about what makes you feel okay, so there's like even if we are in the same house all day, like it's not just about me. Like I don't want you to feel suffocated in a relationship to where you're like, oh, I have to be around her all day, or like he made a comment about not being able to like he brought his Switch down here with him and I told him not to play the game whenever he was at my house. So he like picked it up and I looked at him and he was just like he looked like he got scared and I was like, what? And he was like, oh, I thought you was gonna get mad. And I was like, did I like spaz on you? Like now you scared to get on the game? I'm like, no. And then that
like
made me
that trauma.
like, damn, bro, like get on the game, bro. Like I don't want like yes, quality time is important, but I also want you to be yourself. Like I don't want to feel
Yeah.
like I don't want you to do something because you feel obligated to do it. Like I want you to do it
Mhm.
because you want to do it. And I can tell when it's obligation or when it's I really want to do this. Like
Mhm. That's some
period.
crazy shit.
It was
I have a,
crazy.
I have a good question. This kind of goes with like people in general. I noticed that like some people be sending you things on Snapchat and you're like, bruh, fuck this nigga. Like the fuck is this, like dick pics and shit? Just
Oh my
because.
yeah, because I do.
And
That's just the
right.
problems with it.
And I was
Like
gonna ask like, oh my fault.
I do want to see your penis, sir.
Right. And I have a question like, how do you feel about like doing OnlyFans and understanding like with men doing that? How, what have you understood about like men taking ownership of you even though they don't even know you? Like, how do you like what's been going on
Well,
with that?
men have that in perspective anyway, and it definitely is like it's tricky because it's not even tricky. It's just it's something that I'm just used to, but I make it very known that like I do what I do for me. I
Mhm.
don't do it for the pleasure of men. Like men don't really like y'all don't count. When I say men, it's like you know, it says know what men I'm talking about. Like
Yeah.
most men even when they buy your content, it's like they feel like they own you, or like just because you're giving me money that gives you, the right to cross boundaries, which it doesn't, because at the end of the day, like, this is a business transaction. Like, I'm a private business. Like, you're a customer. You don't own me. You don't get to disrespect me. You don't own parts of my body. Like, I'm still a person. This is my body that I'm giving you. I'm making content. I'm taking time out of my day. Like, this is art. It doesn't matter what other people see it as. To me,
Mhm.
I'm expressing myself and I feel beautiful and I'm comfortable with me, and you're not gonna like tear that down because you feel like you own me. And it's really like, sis, you're barely paying the price of like 2 Netflix subscriptions. So please don't think if you send me $20 to $30 or even $5, however much you send me, like, grow. My bras cost almost $100 a piece. So let's please talk to me with some respect. What
Yeah.
you're giving me does not even pay half of my rent. And I have multiple jobs. Like, this is not my only job. Like, you have to respect people and not just, even if JoJo has a business and I'm giving you money and I'm supporting your business as my friend, I don't own you. That doesn't give me the right to call, like, it doesn't matter what kind of business it is. Like, you have to stay in those boundaries and realize this is a person who has feelings and is giving you content that you are asking for.
Mm.
So you
That
can't be
you
like, oh,
want.
you're a whore, your mama. Like,
Well, crazy. That was just making me think about the parallels of like you like how artists also have to like kind of sell themselves, and so that made me think about how everybody who like turns their stuff into a business, like the idea of being in like the States and stuff, how everybody has to kind of become a commodity to like survive. And so I was
yeah.
just wondering your thoughts on that. Like, what do you think about just like,
See, I don't. A lot of people will be like they'll say that like you're selling yourself, or like, oh, I could never do that, and I'm like, good, you could never, but I can. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So, like, I feel empowered. Like, I like taking men's money. I like taking people's money. I like being able to dress up cute and do cosplay or do whatever I want to do, and it's my content that I put time into, and I look good. Like, I would look at the pictures, I'd be like, damn, that's me. Like, and like people want that, and it's like the people, like, there's people like who are really nice, and it's like we build like a friendship kind of, but even then it's like there's boundaries where I'm just like, I don't know. It's more of like I feel like it's leaning more towards the like dominatrix kind of mindset. So it's like the way I'm built, like the way I set up my shit, I'm like, you don't have an option. Like, you don't have an opinion. Like, like if you want something from me, I'm gonna post what I like. And it's more so of like, I control every aspect of it. There's nobody that has a say so, because this is me. Like, this
Mm.
is my body. Like, and I don't know. You can ask for something, and if I like it or if I agree with it, cool. But like, I charge people to even message me. So
yeah,
I'm like, you're gonna talk to me, like, like, like you're
money
gonna,
talk.
yeah,
So, do
you're
you
gonna do
feel
my role.
like with OnlyFans that it affects your like romantic relationships, or how do you like maneuver when it comes to romance? Because like in reality, it's a business, right? So it's not
Mhm.
even like, to me, it's not even like you're cheating or doing anything wrong other than making money and providing for yourself. This is just
Mhm.
the industry that you work in, right? So like, but then men are territorial, so not all of them see it like that. So how do you maneuver when those issues come up?
Well, I honestly, like, I've only been on it for like a year, and but like since then, I've talked to people and they haven't had issues. But like the dude I'm talking to now, like, it's kind of the reverse effect where it's like he's completely secure. Like, he was like, I don't care. Like, at the end of the day, like I'm with you. We do shit. Like, the niggas ain't touching you. Like, I come home to you. I wake up to you. So like, it don't matter. But it's the reverse.
True.
Real
The
nigga
reverse
shit.
effect for me, where it's like he, like, the first, like, from the first day we started talking, like, he paid for like 3 months worth of like my OnlyFans. Like, he pays, like, he subscribed to it. Like, but in my head, it's more like I'm always afraid of people that I date only dating me because of that. You know what I mean? It's like, because now it's known, and now I have almost 30,000 followers on Instagram, and those people know about my OnlyFans. So it's like it's out there, and it's like people know me on there, and it's like the name is to like who I am, and now it's like, damn, like, so are you dating me? Not for like clout, because I ain't trying to say I'm just clout, but like, I'm known to the point to where it's like, are you dating me for that,
Yeah,
or
like a
you know,
ski.
if you is that all you want, or is it like really supporting and like you really see more? Because like now it's to the point to where I'm so used to male attention. It's like that's all they want. It's like they see that I'm a good person, and it's like, oh, you a good person with a fat ass. So it's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, no, bro, like, like the
Mhm.
physical aspect, I'm so used to that being like the main
First
priority. Now
thing.
it's like,
Yeah.
do you really care like about
Right.
me, or is this just you just want to date a chick who got only, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Cool.
I identify with that, like men kind of seeing the physical first and then basing that off if they want to pursue you or not. And that was even, I would say, like kind of, before the OnlyFans era. It's just like OnlyFans gave you a way to make money off that shit, but like
hmm
walking down the street, going to the club, like niggas see my ass before they see my personality, right?
mm
So
Mm.
like off rip, I think the physical is always going to be objectified by men, and
yeah.
like
It's just on a
they're
big,
always going to do that.
like, it's more, it's like the spotlight's more on it. And especially when it's like you got, I have OnlyFans, I got hella niggas subscribed to it, and I'm not dating them. So then it's like, oh, I got this girl that everybody,
Everybody know.
yeah, like you see hella retweets on Twitter, and you're just like, oh, everybody wants this bitch. And he made a comment about like bringing it up to like his friends that I had one, and like I didn't really get mad about it, but then it did cause kind of like a little bit of an insecurity because I was like, damn. Because he said one of his friends wanted to ask me something, but they asked him and they told him to ask me. So when he asked me, I was like, why do your friends feel so comfortable asking you questions like that? Like why? Like why would you even discuss it with your friends?
Mhm.
But I also was like, I didn't really feel like it wasn't harmful. Like I just think he didn't really think about it, and he was kind of just maybe like bragging. But
Mhm.
also like, hey, bro, like I don't like that. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like I don't want if it's your friends, like I don't want them subscribing to it. Like I don't want them talking about it. I don't want them bringing that up and you talking about it with them because that just
Yeah.
makes me weird. Like,
Keep it on a low type shit.
yeah, like and even like keep it on the low. It's just like don't make that a topic and don't make it to where they can feel comfortable to talk about your girl and bring up questions about like my nigga had an OnlyFans. My friend was like, "Oh, what's he posting? Bitch, mind your business." Like,
Yeah, because you want to feel
True.
defended and protected, and like
yeah, I'm like,
it
bruh,
just kind of
True.
he leaves you with your
they
guard
shouldn't be able to easily just have like an access and be like, "Oh yeah, like would your girl do this?" And I'm like, "What?" Like,
down.
Dang.
Crazy.
Why would
Nah,
you?
bro. Nah,
Yeah.
nah, 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 nah,
Because
nah,
as a
nah.
man, you would expect him to be like, "Why do you want my girl to do that? Like, you don't need
Yeah,
to
like
see
look.
my girl do that. My girl do that for me, not for you, cuz." Like,
exactly.
you know
He
what I
said,
mean? That's what you expect them. That's what you want. And then, nah, he just was like, "I'm gonna ask you to do it because I want to see it too," type shit.
yeah, I don't. I told him. I checked that real quick. I was like, yeah, don't let that shit happen.
Hmm.
I'm gonna let it slide, but because I don't really feel like there was like any ill intent. I just thought he was very naive about it. Like he didn't really think about it, and I was like,
Hmm.
yeah.
I do have a question. How do you build up, I guess, the courage to like, because know, like in your past relationships, you were talking about earlier, you didn't really stand up for yourself as much as you do now. How do you find that courage to like say, you know what, no, I'm not going for this? Because I feel like sometimes as women, and I know I've like experienced this a lot, but like I be wanting to say something because I know that's some slick shit, but then I'd be like, I'ma let it slide. How do you get the courage to not let shit slide anymore?
Honestly, I just you have to. I just feel like you have to defend yourself like you defend your friends. Like JoJo's like, I'll go to war for him, and it's like when it comes to me though, you don't do that. And I just had to look at myself and be like, why? You know what I mean? Like, why would you knock somebody lights out for JoJo in a heartbeat, but you let niggas talk to you like you're not shit, bro? Like,
Mhm.
and it's all about like you don't want to do that, like it's hard. Like even talking to old boy about the stuff that we were talking about today, like it's hard to be vulnerable, but it's also like I have to think like men, most men are gonna treat you like the way that you allow, people in general. And even if it's not intentional, it's like you have to lay that groundwork and be like, the right man or the right woman is never gonna make you feel like you're doing too much for placing boundaries and placing certain things and expectations and being like, this is what I'm not gonna allow, this is the disrespect that I'm not gonna allow, like this is what I want, this is how I expect to be treated. And if that person really want to be with you, like they're gonna do that, and they're not gonna put you in a place to where you're gonna have to
No.
sacrifice
Oh,
your. My bad. It just wait. Let me text some
no,
more.
you're good. You're good.
I guess.
We just got a history of it cutting out right when somebody's gonna say something good, about to drop a gem.
Gems.
No, I just got to. I just know for a fact, like I want love, and I want it to be like unconditional, and I want respect, and I want my future kids to where parents really love each other. So I can't get that if I'm not like, if I don't put my foot down and just be like, look, bro, like, yeah, it's gonna be uncomfortable to set those boundaries and then tell a dude like, hey, I'm not with the funny shit. I'm not with the like you playing games. Like it's gonna feel uncomfortable, but once you start doing that and you see that they respect that and that they're sticking to that, you know what I mean? Then you start to get more confidence because you're like, okay, like I'm standing up for myself and he's still here. Like I'm placing these boundaries and they're still here and they're still trying. So it's like all the stuff that I've done with old boy, like we've had some discussions, but like so far he's responding and he's slowly kind of fixing some things. So it's like I feel more comfortable being like, okay, like I just gotta stick with it. And regardless if they fight against it or not, like those boundaries are there. So it's like you have to just stick to it no matter like if I tell him I'm not having sex until we're boyfriend and girlfriend and he don't want to do that. Cool. But I don't let like you can't let that manipulation or like that fear of like, oh, that person's not gonna fuck with me. So what, bro? Well, my DMs is open. It's just sliding up. Nigga when niggas slide up or like I look at my DMs, I get reminded I have options. So I'm like, okay, if you don't want to like hold that up, cool. But like I'm not when it comes to my respect and my love and the way I want to be loved, there's no room for like compromises. It's like we can compromise on how we do things in a relationship, but I'm not going to compromise when it comes to what I expect and what I want to feel safe and secure. Because at the end of the day, as somebody who grew up dealing with abuse and has been in multiple abusive relationships, I'm not sacrificing my safety, me feeling safe, me feeling respected. Like it's a no brainer. It's like no, you either do it, get out, get right, or get out. Like, because I'm young. Like I'm 26. I'm not dealing with this in my like mid 30s, bro. Like I'm not. It's not. No.
Look, I want my money to multiply, can't fuck it up. Funds in the bank, and I bank on trust with some bangers. I bang out the bang out trust with the bangs, with the band that I bang with. Fuck, more than a banger, fuck, cup of that. I just say less, you know my motto, staccato. Mine and the truth in my drive from full throttle. I'm under pressure like Logic in 14. People ask if there's logic and big dreams. You worry about that, I'm just plotting on victory. All of these rhymes are just part of a big scheme. I don't need to ride a wave, I'm the same. I'm a shark, you're a Noah's Ark. Y'all stuck on the boat, I'm at home at heart. Threat behind bars like Bonaparte. I want my money to multiply, can't fuck it up. Funds in the bank and I bang on trust. With some bangers, I bang out the bang out trucks. With the bands, with the band that I bang with.
Man, I can't give it up. My mama, she done gave enough. Be drowning in my sorrows, so this bottle help me feel the love.
And now I was feeling down, keep my head up. Really trying to learn my lessons. Still trying to free my stresses. I need that money for the pressure. Yet I know I'ma be that nigga. Now y'all wanna see that nigga.
So we just want to know, like, because we're gonna try and keep in touch and stay supporting you and
Oh
your
yeah, man, I really
OnlyFans.
like
So,
y'all. JoJo, we've been friends for like I think almost 2 years now. But like
hmm
y'all are my people. I like talking to people about. I'm a very emotional person and like digging deep. Like you can tell. Like
yeah,
me and JoJo will have conversations for hours about. It don't matter. It'll just keep going, and I can do this for hours because I'm like I like talking about topics, especially us being black. Like even me being I'm mixed, but like my mom is German, my dad's black, but like most black people like that I know they don't really like talk about these kind of topics and especially men. So I'm like having two men and there's two women and it's kind of like we all just are really agreeing on the same shit in like different
hmm
walks of life. Like I'm all about that, man.
yeah.
I really
So
like
where
that.
can we find you? How can we keep up with you? What's going on?
My Instagram, I think the one which one do you follow, Jojo? It's OVO
I
dot
think I follow
Jordan
both.
OVO dot Jordan Keiser, which is
Oh,
Keiser, and I have another one that's just OVO dot NYX. But I ain't gonna lie, that one's my OnlyFans one, so you might if you follow that one, that's what you're gonna see. But I also have a Snapchat which is OVO NYX, and that's PG.
okay.
So any of those really, and my Twitter is linked on all those. So
Well, we want your business to grow. So y'all go
yeah.
follow that OnlyFans. Subscribe
Oh
to my
God.
good sis. Put $30 in her pocket because you want it.
Period.
She a
Like,
bad bitch and she done already said
if
it.
I
She
make money,
that
we all
bitch.
make money. I put all my friends on.
Right.
Like,
God.
So no,
look,
yeah, we here to promote. Y'all
just
go
Look like
subscribe.
both.
yes, ma'am.